Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. Thank you so much for joining us. I am, of course, Chat Show. And I have a very special guest in here today. One of the great storytellers, I will tell you, that's ever sat at my poker table and elsewhere. Very excited. We've worked together in the motion picture business as well as the television business. We'll talk about that and so many other things. We're coming to you from the Earwolf Studios in Hollywood, California. Their auspices. And, of course, Ryan Connor, our engineer today. Thank you, Ryan, for, your time and effort. Yeah.
No problem.
This piece of your life belongs to us, and I'm grateful for it. No cash prize necessarily available. At this point, we'll see how it goes. Normally, we come to you live from the West Side Comedy Theater if you're ever in the Los Angeles area. You want to see a live comedy show, either improv or sketch or stand-up, go to westsidecomedy.com. Check out their shit. In terms of podcasts, you definitely want to go to earwolf.com for all of your podcast needs. And you know what? While I'm plugging things, why don't you write to us? Let us know what you think about this show, and I'm just going to say anything. I love to read whatever you want to write. Write to us at kpcsfanmail@gmail.com. KPCS, as in Kevin Pollak's Chat Show, fanmail@gmail.com. Recent guests, you ask? All right, settle down. Billy Bob Thornton, Christopher Guest, Lauren Graham, Brian Cranston, J.K. Simmons, Craig Ferguson, Michaela Watkins. Those are people I'd like to get on the show. I haven't been able to get any of them, so I just call their names out. No, those are recent guests. And then upcoming, Marilyn Rice Cup. Yeah, just finished working with her. Unbelievably talented and funny. She'll be live on the 17th of September. Jenna Fischer, Paul Rudd, Bob Saget, and very special show October 29th. Ricky Gervais, and you must be so tired of hearing me plug that one. Let's get to our guest, please, and talk everything Mizzou with Greg Cromer. Greg.
Hello, Kevin.
How are you, buddy?
I am fantastic.
Where you've come from on this fine last day of August, you were saying it was 119 degrees.
Yes, it was 118 when I pulled out of the driveway.
I see.
I spontaneously combusted and arrived as a pile of dust.
Do you see people outside at all?
No.
No, there's no way.
As a matter of fact, when we moved to Santa Clarita, California.
That's right.
Looking at places up there, we wondered if anyone actually lived there or if it was just all model homes. Because we were looking in August, and now that we've been there 2 years, we've realized why nobody walks out of their house. It's miserable.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's what you hear about from people who live in Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or just in hell. I mean, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And literally, the temperature gauge in my car said 126.
Because it had sat in the sun a little bit.
It had sat in the sun for 7 degrees.
That's a weird number to see.
But only 7 degrees? Really? Like, it had been out all day. I walked out into 119. I got to give the car credit. Staying kind of cool.
For hanging in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I teased that we'd work together in the motion picture business. Your moments in the little comedy that I directed that's on the Netflix called The Late Bloomer.
Yeah.
I had the good fortune of calling and begging and casting you in this movie. And you were very generous with your time.
A lot of time I spent
I think
on it.
Most time you spent was driving to the location.
Yes.
Was it near Anaheim?
It was about an hour and 20-minute drive.
Sure.
And I feel like I was there about 11 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you're the one-take kid, so that's
right.
not my
In and out.
fault.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah. But you have a cameo.
Yep.
But that cameo not only ends up in the trailer, the 30-second, the 60-second, and the 90-second, but it's one of the biggest laughs in the movie.
If you're going to take a swing, swing for the fences.
Yeah. And where did that come from? Was that a competitive thing that happened in school?
Yep.
Because most actors would just show up and go, all right, no good deed goes unpunished. There's no parking space. I'm certainly not going to get paid more than $1.
It was street parking, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic.
Oh, man. And then I'm just going to get in and get this over with. But you...
No, don't mail it in.
No.
Come on, guys.
Swing deep.
Yep. Look, I mean, I've done a lot of different stuff out here. I haven't gone to porn yet.
No.
But I've done a lot of different stuff. And, You're taking the job. You're going to do the job.
It's interesting you use the word yet.
Sure. Well, look, hey, anything is on the table at this point.
Yeah. I can't make any promises.
No.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy who has it on, in my permanent record of audio recordings that I said, I'm never doing porn.
See, now that's,
Or scoffed at the notion.
Would never do
Don't
that.
need that out there.
Would never do that. I don't know where porn's going to be in 15 years.
No. I mean, it's going to, that's true. If it's on my phone already.
Yeah.
Where is it going to be?
Maybe it's just happening on the street.
Yeah. Well, they're making strides. My researchers tell me in the virtual reality.
I'd like that. Well,
the problem is you got idiocracy in about a week. Nobody leaves their home.
Right.
They're just in the chair, and that's happening.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and that's also good.
Too. Yeah. Especially when it's 118 outside.
Let's cut to parenting.
Yeah.
At that point. And in terms of the addiction that would be, the virtual reality sex, when perfected.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know how you would, how would you dole out that addiction?
Well, first of all, if you have kids, right. At that point, I'm sorry for the kids, mainly because they're going to be left mainly unattended. Day in and day out.
Would you think like a couple of weeks, couple of months?
Ever?
Yeah, because...
Forever?
Yeah, but too much of a good thing.
Oh, peek in on them every now and then? Right. How's college? Great. Call me when you get a job.
And your kids are currently what age?
Call me when you retire. My daughter will be 5 in October.
That's correct.
And my son is 2.5-ish.
And you're already jumping to how's college?
Yep, how's college? Yeah. Call me after retirement.
That's right.
Well, look, if I'm strapped in with the headset on the virtual porn,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll talk to you in 20, 30 years. What do I need? Bring me a coffee, and I'm fine.
Maybe a good diet. Maybe that would be a good diet.
Yeah,
right? Because you're certainly not eating.
No, plenty of exercise.
Right. Well, you just build you build up a Pete Sampras forearm. Right. One side.
Popeye on one side.
Yeah. Have you ever met a professional tennis player, by the way? It is ridiculous. They've got one side, whatever they're serving, lefty or righty.
Right.
Looks like somebody's leg.
Sure.
It looks like a calf of a linebacker.
Is that somebody's leg coming out of your shoulder?
Yeah. How do you buy
That's interesting. I haven't thought about that. Yes.
No long sleeve shirts.
It's not a big and tall man. It's a one side big man shop.
That's right.
What is it?
Yeah.
What do they call it?
We need to go on Shark Tank with this. Listen, there are a lot of professional tennis players out there, and they all suffer from this.
Yep.
So you killed it on the late bloomer.
Oh, thank you.
And then we worked together on the short-lived, but we can blame Kyle Bornheimer for that.
Oh, well, there's no doubt.
Yeah, he's Mr. 13 and done.
Yep.
I mean, it's a long-established record.
Yeah.
And he warned us going in.
Yeah.
We did this pilot called Angel from Hell. Jane Lynch, Maggie Lawson, and Kyle Bornheimer. Mm-hmm. We were the four main jerks, and then, well, I was one of those guys when we were doing the pilot saying, this will never go. This will never go.
Right. I remember you talking at poker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No chance.
Leading up.
And not even hedging a bet saying that. Just flat out.
It's not happening.
I promise you guys.
Right.
Let's just have fun.
Yeah.
But let's not get emotionally attached.
Right.
To each other. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Sure.
Because it's going to be 8 days and see ya.
Yeah.
So then we get picked up, and the whole time we're shooting, every time I would say that, Bornheimer would say, yeah, but if we do go, just so you know, it'll be 13 and over. There's no way we'll get...
Because he knew of his track record.
Like 5 times.
Right.
In fact, he was saying, oh, no, the pilot's going because you got me.
He was positive.
I'll get us
to
13.
Right.
And then big sorry.
Right.
What happens? Yeah. So he was right. I was wrong. But you came in and shot a couple, I think, right?
I did. I think I did
3
or 4 episodes of that. Yeah. Maybe it was 3. Yeah, I don't remember. But we didn't even know if they were going to. Well,
they kept pinning you.
The first 1 or 2, I kept getting pins, and the first 1 or 2 might have aired, and then the last 1 or 2, I thought were just going to be lost. And they ended up running them, even if after it was canceled, they ran them, I think, during the summer or something. Did that happen?
Yes. I found out they run all the episodes and they can sell it.
Right. Because after all, they paid
overseas.
to do it, so they may as well run them, I guess.
But also the only way to sell it overseas is if you can say, if the salesperson can say that every episode aired in the States.
Yeah, I see.
I don't care.
I just
Why do I know these things? I'll tell you why. Sam Levine.
Okay, yeah.
He did that horrible doctor thing with the hands over the face in all the ads. Face hand doctor. And he got that show, I think aired once,
Face hand
maybe twice. And then was done. And then I got the whole, they got to air all 13 in the summer.
Here's the deal.
And air them like 2 in a row, back to back, just to really flush them out.
Flush them out at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You forgot 2 movies that we did. Or did you forget, or was it a selective memory thing? Selective?
It's all written down.
I'm gathering selective as I look. But they were years ago.
All right, let's count them down.
213.
Oh, my God.
You remember that?
Oh, it's the whole Mark Thompson connection.
Okay. And Mother Ghost.
Mother Ghost. Yeah. It's
These
not
were back
so much
in the late 70s.
It's not so much that I forgot.
Yeah, I know.
It's that I've done all I could to wipe them from the internet.
I'm bringing them back for you, buddy.
Let's just go to how I met Mark Thompson.
Okay.
Because he was Mr. Santa Clarita before you were.
He was Santa Clarita Diet before I got there. I met Mark in class. When I first moved out here, I started at Playhouse West. Jeff Goldblum, name you might have heard before.
Sure.
Was teaching there. And I started like 3 days after I got to L.A., and Mark was in my class. We became friends, as you do, with some people in class sometimes, and you commiserate. And we became good friends, and he started that was right when he started writing stuff, you know. And actually, a lot of the people from Playhouse West were in the first one, Mother Ghost.
Right.
And then we moved to 213 in the same type of scene. There's a good handful of people from that in there, too.
Was Franco in the Playhouse West?
Franco was not in. He was in Playhouse West. He wasn't in. He
was in Mother Ghost.
He was.
Yeah.
He was like a skater or something like that. Yeah. He was not in my class. He was not in our class. He was in a class. I guess maybe a class that was more successful because.
Well, no, at the time he wasn't successful.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
I mean, he was young.
Yeah.
Probably 1920.
Right. And but he was not in my class, and I never really saw him much. I forgot he was even in that movie. That's right.
How soon after you met Mark and Thompson in the class did he mention he was Mark from Mark and Brian in the morning radio?
I don't know if he ever did. I think I just figured it out. He never says anything about stuff like that, you know. Right. But how did I figure? I don't even remember how I figured that out. Maybe
unless
just listening.
Listened and
maybe just listening and put it together. Or there were probably grumblings about it. You know?
Yeah, and his voice and laugh in particular.
His laugh for sure. Yeah.
So that's right. We did a couple of those. Yeah. And how he was able to call in favors, I don't even know. Joe Mantegna.
Yeah.
Some, like. Because on Mark and Brian, they would get the biggest stars in the world.
Yes.
Who apparently had the ability to say no.
Right.
When Mark called to be in their
neither
movies.
One of us had that ability.
No, not at all.
At all.
Let's talk about Mizzou.
Say it.
You grew up in a suburb of St. Louis or actually in the St. Louis?
In a suburb of, the greater St. Louis area, St. Louis County. Mm-hmm. Nobody really lived in the city. Especially when I grew up there, it was pretty run down. Now it's really nice.
Yeah, and what was the name of the suburb?
It was called Manchester.
That's right.
Manchester, Missouri.
That's right.
Yeah, West County.
How many kids in your grade school class or high school class?
Oh, we had a lot. Yeah. It was a good size, I went to public schools, and I think my high school graduating class was in the, around 600 or something like that. So it was a big, our high school was 2,400 kids or something. And,
right.
In the suburbs,
So it wasn't small town USA.
No, it was not. It was not. My dad lives in small town USA now, back outside of St. Louis in a little place called St. Clair, Missouri.
I see.
Cows and goats and whatnot on the porch even.
And what was Dad doing when you were growing up?
Dad worked in the car business.
Sure.
Had a Ford dealership.
Had one.
Doesn't anymore.
Did he mention how he got into having a?
You know what he started?
Business?
You know what he started doing? He grew up doing working in gas stations and just doing whatever he could to make money. He worked nights during school. Parents made him pay like room and board. It was that kind of upbringing.
Sweet.
Yeah. He went to.
What age did that start?
I think 6.
6 years old.
He went off. Get this. He went off to Vietnam. And his parents sold his baseball card collection.
Oh no.
And they sold his horse. He had a horse at the time. Lived in the city, but had a horse. Like rode it on the streets. Yeah. But they sold it. He bought it with his own money. You look so confused. They sold it, and he came home from Vietnam after he was shot in Vietnam. Came home and he said, where's my horse?
And my shit.
I need my horse. My leg is all busted up. It's got a bullet in it. We sold it. Really? Okay, well, that's interesting. Can I have the money for it? No. Got to pay the bills. What?
Wow.
Yeah, they sold it, kept the money, sold his baseball card collection. What is that?
But how would they even think to sell the baseball card
I don't even know. Where do you even go? Like right now, I have thousands of them. I don't even know. Who do you call?
Yeah.
You know?
Did they stumble across a couple? Honey, I think he's got a Babe Ruth.
Trading for fruit at a stoplight? What do you, how do you get rid of?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so he lives in the country now.
Mm-hmm. And he was up country, apparently, in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
St. Louis.
And so was he passing some of that raising and rearing?
No, God, he was the opposite.
He went the other way.
He was great. I mean, he didn't spoil us. He was even in the car business. I had to buy my first car. I worked for him, and this was back in the 70s and 80s. I was making like $3.50 an hour washing cars and stuff, in the summer. And so he made me work for everything I got. However, we never needed for anything. Our clothes, our vacations, even vacations in the summer, he would let us my sister and I each bring a friend, and he would pay for them. And, and he was always the coach of all my teams, football, baseball, soccer, stuff like that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. He was a great dad. He was great. Yeah.
I was thinking about the sort of freewheeling kid that your generation or my generation was allowed to be growing up.
Yeah.
Versus now, you've got the two youngins. So what was your curfew like when you were 12?
Honestly, I don't remember ever being inside the house. Like, we went out in the morning, and my sister would try to follow me somewhere, and I would ditch her. It would take me a little bit of time to ditch her. She's younger. And then we would play until, maybe I came in for lunch. I don't remember doing that.
Right.
And then it would be the street light would come on. I know my time was running out. We'd be playing kickball or stickball or ghost in the graveyard or kick the can or whatever the game was in the
Because you refused to play organized sports?
Well, no. Yes. I lettered in Ghost in the Graveyard. You didn't know? We had a game called Pappy Poop Deck. Speaking of. This is crazy.
Wait for it.
Yep. I grew up on a cul-de-sac, Foxcliff Court in St. Louis, okay?
All right.
2 doors up from me.
In the same cul-de-sac?
In the same cul-de-sac, Jenna Fischer.
No.
Yeah. 2 doors up. I heard you mention she will be here or has been here.
We pre-recorded because she has a book out in November.
2 doors up from me.
Oh, my God.
We carpooled to religion class together on Monday nights.
That's insane.
Yeah. And she would, we'd be out there playing kickball and wiffle ball, whatever, all the organized sports that we played out front. And she would be, she was in the group of girls and I was in the group of boys, and we were all doing our thing all day long in the summers. And she was like, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
When she got hit in the head with a wiffle ball, was she a crier?
When I did it on purpose, she would amp it up a little bit,
right.
I think, to get sympathy. But glancing blows, I think she took it like a champ.
Did you end up going to high school together?
No.
Growing up in the same?
I don't know if she went. I went to Parkway West. I don't know if she may have gone there. I think we kind of, once we went into high school, I don't remember.
I think you're right. I'm trying to remember the kids I grew up with on my block.
Yeah.
And they weren't necessarily the cliques and groups you ended up hanging out with.
No. Yeah. I think we didn't hang out much anymore. It was when we were little kids and we were all hanging out front a lot playing. Right. That's when we hung out. And then it kind of everybody went their separate ways.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if she went to my high school or not. Yeah.
So when you were allowed to play organized sports.
Yes.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Did you play Little League prior?
I played Little League soccer, Little League baseball. I did not play football until high school. Mainly baseball. I played a little bit of basketball.
No Pop Warner football?
No. I was so focused and obsessed with baseball growing up, going to the Cardinal games and then also playing, that I spent most of my time playing baseball. We'd play football, like sandlot football all the time.
Sure.
But I didn't play organized till high school.
How old are you when you go to your first St. Louis Cardinal game?
Oh, probably. I mean, I would imagine 4 or 5 years old. My dad was bringing me from as long as I can remember.
What age when you go to a World Series game?
Oh, I mean, they're in it every year, so probably 4 or 5.
That was just because Sam Levine's going to listen to this. That's right.
That was exactly what it was.
Yeah. When was the last World Series game?
Oh man! Unfortunately, I haven't been back as much. I wanted to get back for the World Series with the Rangers, which was probably the greatest. The Game 6 of this series against the Rangers may have been the greatest game ever in World Series history when we came back twice with 2 outs to win. But I went back I was back for both the World Series against the Tigers.
You were there?
Where we won, yes.
Which games were you at?
I was at the last 2 games.
I was at 3, 4, and 5.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So we were there.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I've told you about
this
Tony
also
LaRusso
was back. Yes.
Connection.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure if you were there for some reason at the 06 World Series.
Yeah. I didn't. This was also back when I was. No, 06 wasn't the time when 06 I had a little bit of money, but before when I used to did I tell you this when I used to travel back for Cardinal games, how I did it before I had any money?
No.
I had no money. I would this is before 9/11. I would find a flight on Southwest Airlines. I can tell this now because, well, hopefully I can't still get in trouble for it, but you can't do it anymore. I would find a flight on Southwest Airlines that would fly from Los Angeles to, say, Las Vegas or Phoenix and just get a one-way. But I would look through the flight log to find out when, the Tower Chief log, I like to say. I would that's a little, what is it?
Few Good Men?
Few Good Men, thank you. And I would find the flights that would stop in Phoenix or Las Vegas, but then go on to St. Louis.
What they call connecting flights.
Correct. Yeah. I would only buy the first leg. I would stay on the plane all the way until St. Louis. They'd bring people in. I just find flights that were off times, so they weren't going to fill up. And on Southwest, they don't. There's no seating assignment.
Did you think you made this up, or did someone turn you on to this little game?
No, I did it. I just started doing it. Anyone I told I did it, which weren't many people at the time, because I didn't want to get caught. Yeah, compared to a podcast for millions and millions and millions of people.
Well, certainly several hundred. Way more than you told prior to this.
Several tens of people.
That's right.
And then on the way back, I would get a ticket to Kansas City that would continue on. So it basically cost me about 70 round trip, 80 round trip to go back for a Cardinals game.
Right.
Yeah. But I digress.
Beautiful.
I went back for that World Series, and I went back for the Red Sox World Series when we got swept.
Well, I wasn't sure if you were there, so I brought you a gift. This is episode 323, and this may be the most personalized gift
this is fantastic.
I've ever given a guest.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Was this molded from your body? For those of you who can't see what this is fantastic. A Cardinals World Champions 2006 hat.
The only time that touched my actual head is when the manager of the club at the time, Tony aggressively put it on my head.
Wow.
And then I,
Is that right?
Took it off and it's been in the closet since.
How did I earn this? This is fantastic.
Well, I just realized as a San Francisco Giants fan, I'm never going to wear this. Ever.
Fair enough.
And I have photos from the incredible evening. So what am I going to do with a hat?
Wow, fair enough.
I thought, well, I know someone who might. Yeah, so it's a World Series champions hat, the one they dole out right after the game is over.
This is fantastic.
On the field, the players are wearing them. And it is a one-size-fits-all, so good luck.
This is fantastic. Honestly, this really is really, really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
it hit me earlier when I was doing the prep, and I thought, wait a second, do I still have a hat from that fucking game?
Oh, this is great.
And then I went in the closet, deep in the closet, and there that son of a bitch was, as some sort of keepsake, like I was going to do what with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and now
the day has come.
Now it's found the perfect owner.
Thank you so much. This is great. Honestly, this is really, really cool.
I bored you with the story of being in the locker room at 3 a.m. with Gibson after they won the
That's
World
unbelievable
Series.
to me. Yeah. It's unbelievable to me.
And the story he told of the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I told you I met speaking of LaRussa, I met him at Mark Thompson's radio show. He called me one day. He said, you might want to come down here. Someone you might want to see.
They were pals.
And they were pals, and it was Tony LaRussa. I walked in, and Tony shook my hand. He let me try on one of his rings, and it was it probably would have fit around my neck. Speaking of people with legs sticking out of their shoulders, his fingers were like bratwursts.
Yeah.
And I mean, this not only that, the ring itself is about 17 pounds.
Yeah. It would easily slip on and off your big toe.
Oh my God. But so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah.
All right. So let's jump ahead to why, I don't know why. How are we doing doing very well. I don't know why, but I just had an inkling that your story of losing your virginity might be a good one. I've never asked this question in 322 episodes. It's caused a laugh, which makes me think perhaps there is.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know that it's exciting. I'm just now thinking that I was going to allow my parents, specifically my mom, to listen to this podcast, but I guess maybe I won't now. But I will tell you.
I can also just take this as a clip and send you the link for just this part.
Great.
To send to your mom.
Good. Yeah. Fantastic. I was actually at I wish it was really exciting, but it wasn't. There's been plenty of exciting things that have happened since.
Well, we'll get into those.
Well,
by the way, losing your virginity is so rarely exciting.
Yeah. I mean, because it's so quick, first of all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I knew what happened. Right. Or even to this day, thinking back, like, what did happen?
Right.
I do know that I was at a friend's house. His parents were out of town. He was having a party. I somehow ended up. I was dating an older girl. I think I was 14. She had a driver's permit. She was 15.
Maybe 15 and a half.
15 and a half, I think you have to be at that point.
Sure.
Older woman. And we were at this party and at my buddy's house, and we made our way to one of the rooms, and all I know is at one point I didn't know if I had lost my virginity or not, and I thought I had, and then as soon as it came to me that maybe I had, it was over. Right. And I looked to my left. I still remember looking over my left shoulder and seeing two of my friends' heads looking in the door. Like one was like on bended knee and the other was above him, and they were both basically watching the whole 4 seconds of it.
And I would just like to take us back to the awkward moments leading up to you and her deciding to go to the bedroom. You kind of jumped past whose idea it was, if you had talked about it prior.
No, gosh. There was no...
How long you had known her. Because 14, 15, in my experience, was not the age where people just shacked up.
Yep. Well, she was a bit promiscuous.
Needless to say.
She was a bit of a hellcat. And she had her way with me.
She just made eyes at you.
She made eyes, and she said, I think I just kind of knew, well, we're at least going to go and
make out.
We could go and make out.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. And like I said, again, I honestly, I barely knew what had just happened, I think.
Sure.
It was just a whirlwind.
Right.
And then it was done. And I just lay there in shock.
I know our sponsor today, HelloFresh, is going to be very grateful that I segued from that story to this live read. Feel free to check your phone and respond to some emails during the next few minutes. HelloFresh, our sponsor today, on a mission to save home cooking. Farm-to-box company because they want everyone to have access to fresh ingredients that inspire great meals. Couch-to-kitchen company because the best way to kick those 5 p.m. excuses is by feeling unstoppable in the kitchen. And they're also a fork-to-feel-good company because when you cook and eat delicious and healthy meals, you'll want to keep doing it again and again. Think about Greg right after that first time. He thought to himself, this has got to happen again.
And again.
You're going to feel the same way when you use HelloFresh. It is a meal kit delivery service that makes cooking more fun so you can focus on the whole experience, not just the final plate. It's the journey, people, not the destination. Each week, HelloFresh creates new delicious recipes with step-by-step instructions designed to take around 30 minutes for everyone from novices to seasoned home cooks who just happen to be short on time. HelloFresh sources the freshest ingredients measured to the exact quantities needed so you don't waste food. Isn't that the problem? You go to the grocery store and waste all that time in food? They're going to deliver it right to your home. They employ 2 full-time registered dietitians. These are not just dietitians, ladies and gentlemen.
They're registered.
They're registered. They're on staff. They review every recipe to ensure its nutritional balance. Their recipes will make you feel unstoppable, and your taste buds will thank you. I don't know how many times you've been thanked by your taste buds, but I can tell you from personal experience, it's righteous. They offer customers a classic box. Hey now, a veggie box and a family box, you heard me. Customers can order 3, 4, or 5 different meals per week designed for either 2 or 4 people. New recipes are created every week. In 6 easy-to-master steps, you'll be chopping, zesting, and cooking like a natural because most of their recipes, again, take just under 30 minutes and require minimal equipment. HelloFresh is now offering light fall meals and has just introduced breakfast options. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, I got the classic box, and, it sounded good, classic, right? Let's start with an easy step. And it was annoyingly easy. I mean, I kind of felt like I was cheating at something, like a test. That's how that feeling like, this is way easier than I thought it was going to be. Like you thought you knew something that nobody else knew. That was that easy feeling. And the ingredients were indeed weirdly fresh. That would be the word I would use. Like, how is this possible? And it allowed me, the novice, to feel like Bobby Flay. There you go. So I do highly recommend this. We got a bit of a discount and a helping hand to you if you want to support this show. It's a chat show special. $30 off your first week of deliveries. Visit HelloFresh.com and enter ChatShow30 when you subscribe. It's a damn terrific life choice to feel better about how and where you eat. HelloFresh. Do it. I end every live read with that. I don't know if that's a taken phrase, do it. I know there's versions of it.
Yeah, do it.
Uh-huh.
We used to use yeah, do it.
Yeah, like,
is that should I order first? Yeah, do it. We used to do that. Uh-huh. I like the way you went from my story to classic box.
Yeah. Did that, was that a nickname you gave her?
That was her name in high school, Classic Box.
Have you driven past one of the new restaurants called Asian Box? That's now a thing in Los Angeles.
Please tell me now.
Yep, there are at least 2 of them.
I thought that was a
one in Burbank
massage parlor. I didn't realize.
And there's one near us now.
Okay, it's called Asian Box.
It certainly is.
I don't understand. Please
I think
explain.
you do. I think you do. That's why we're both.
What happens there?
Well, I think you have to go and find out.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not been.
Sure.
Yeah, but I will tell you, the entrance goes this way. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You betcha. Mm-hmm. We have something on the show, a new segment called Famous Questions.
Oh, great.
And in this, I gather questions from famous workers, co-stars, or friends of yours. And I have them cough up a question to you.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
Depending on which friends
Of course.
or co-stars.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
This one is the friend who introduced us and had you join my poker game on his request.
Tuna?
Otherwise known as the Grand Arab.
Yep.
He's a Lebanese descent, although Los Angeles born.
Yep.
And I only point that out because we're natural enemies.
Yes.
We are unable to share the desert, apparently.
He's a miserable human being.
Well, we're certainly, and way too much hair.
Yeah.
In all the wrong places.
God, it doesn't stop.
Buddy boy. But we're very thrilled for him. He's one of the stars of the new TNT hit show, Claws. That just won't stop anytime soon. So good fortune for him and the family. A new father himself.
Yes.
Similar ages, 2 and 5.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, he was just up. He was just up in Santa Clarita with the kids recently. They had a birthday party. Stopped by the house.
Sure.
Hung out for a while.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it was a good time. I hadn't seen him in a while.
And the kids get along
Yes, they do get along.
because they don't know any better,
No, no,
right?
They don't know the hate that I feel for Jason either. So
Yeah,
they just do their thing.
that's right. So Jason Antoon's question to you.
Oh boy.
In exchange,
This is going to be so ridiculous. I know, before you even say it, the question is going to be miserable, but go on. And probably very sexual, I would also guess.
oh man. In exchange for lifetime seats, great seats, and first class round trip and hotel accommodations to every St. Louis Cardinal game, home and away.
Wow.
Would you?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. This is a game I like to play on occasion called What Would It Take?
Yeah, I love this game.
Yeah.
Any drive I'm on, I drive people crazy.
Yeah, so just to reiterate what the prize is.
Yes.
Hotel, first class tickets, round trip to every single lifetime, in your lifetime, anytime you want to go to a game.
Right.
And he wrote seats, so more than one.
Cool. Got it. Perfect.
Lifetime.
Yep.
But you have to accomplish one of the 3.
Oh, boy. Okay.
How bad do you think these are going to be?
They're going to be awful. They're going to be flat awful, but go on.
Yeah, I don't know which one to start with. I guess I'll start with the easiest one. Okay. Wear a hat at all times of the day, every day, for the rest of your life, never taking it off for anything that says, I'm late to an audition.
It is an easy one, though, especially considering the source. And I kind of like that one. Actually, I may do that one anyway. So for anybody out there betting on this, I may be taking that one anyway. But go on. That's a good one.
Wait, there are only 2 choices. Why did I say 3? Yeah.
We can make one up.
Yeah.
Late to an audition.
Yeah. So obviously it is going to be this second one because it's a lot easier.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know why I created such drama. Wear a Chicago Cubs hat at all times, plus a Cubs jersey with the name Levine's Bitch on the back.
You had me at wear a Cubs hat. I would never, and I will never, wear a Cubs anything.
His genuine question, when was the last time you cried and why? That's really, other than right now.
Right. The last time I cried was probably the World Series last year when the Cubs won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good
And
cry.
before that, when they made the champion, when they won the division, and before that, when they beat the Cardinals in a series. And
Yeah. That was the only tears that matter.
Yep.
We're going to stay in the baseball world. Your famous peeps happen to know your love of the game, apparently.
Okay.
This one from Kyle Bornheimer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. He says, first remind Greg that his Cardinals beat my beloved Brewers in the World Series in 1982.
Sure.
And then he writes to me, by the way, here's the Brewers lineup without Googling it that year during the World Series. Catcher, Ted Simmons, first base, Cecil Cooper, second base, Jim Gatner, shortstop, Robin Yount, Hall of Fame. Third base, Paul Molitor, Hall of Fame. Left field, Ben Ogilvie. Center field, he writes, can't think of him, but 8 out of 9 ain't bad. Right field, Gorman Thomas. Pitching.
He didn't have access to Google, huh?
Pete Yukovich pitching. Now, remind that prick Cromer that half his team at the time in 82 had beer bellies and looked like the local 48 Thursday softball team. And now ask him to name the starting lineup of the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals in that World Series.
Oh, wow.
Without Googling.
Without Googling.
He turned it into a competition.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Well, we had Darryl Porter catching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you want any starting pitchers or relief pitchers? Because he didn't name any of those.
He just named one pitcher.
Sure, that's probably all he knew.
Pete Yukovich. You can just name any pitcher.
We had John Tudor, Bob Forsch. Closing, we had Bruce Sutter. First base, a guy that you might remember, Keith Hernandez.
Sure.
Moved after that, we went to Jack Clark, but we'll stick with what we're talking about here. Tommy Herr playing second base, Ozzie Smith at shortstop. Ken Oberkfell.
With the cannon arm.
Remember him?
Sure.
Let's see. Let's move to the outfield. We had George Hendricks.
Correct.
We had Willie McGee, Lonnie Smith. Who else? We had Andy Van Slyke. I don't remember if he came in before or after or during if he was there right during that. I think he was.
Seems like you did a little bit better than 8 out of 9.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and name the whole roster. But Tommy Herr and Andy Van Slyke were large. Darryl Porter, though, was the MVP. I mean, he was our, aside from our pitching, of course. Pitching wins championships.
He was the forget it guy.
He was the guy, and he was the one that all the women liked as well back in St. Louis. He'd be at the car dealerships signing baseballs for everyone.
Is that right?
Yeah.
For many years.
Yeah. He was,
Dad's dealership? Did he ever come to Dad's dealership?
No, back then my dad just worked at some. Yeah, actually he did. Yeah. Yes, he did. Now that you mention, and also some of the members of the St. Louis Steamers indoor soccer team.
Wait for it.
Would be there.
Would you go down and get an autograph from one of these players at any opportunity?
I've never been a big autograph guy. Yeah. I've never even I don't know. I probably should have, especially with my baseball card collection. I have an enormous baseball card collection.
Well, you did.
No, I still do. My dad doesn't anymore. I still actually was going through them recently. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Some of the cards.
When was the last time you went through them?
I just went through them about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Because I found them, was looking for them, found them, and wanted to make sure that I had them in the folders, because my plan is to give them to my son. Because now every birthday he has, I buy him a complete set of baseball cards from that year. Yeah.
So this is awkward. So I thought I wanted to come up with a funny gift for your birthday.
Okay.
Which was just 10 days ago.
Well, we all know there was an eclipse for me that day.
There was.
Yes.
And I thought it'd be funny. I asked Michelle to sell your baseball cards because I knew.
That's an interesting.
I knew that your dad had his sold.
So why not keep it?
So I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, a good bit.
Yeah. And it's just a great memory of what had happened to your dad.
Interesting.
Yeah. But unlike his parents, your grandparents.
Yeah. I'm going to get the money?
You are going to get the money.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
What'd you make on those?
I mean, she's got it in a T-bill that won't mature.
Okay. Well, this is getting worse, I got to say. This present is not getting any better.
She got a lot. Yeah, no, she actually surprised the hell out of me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there are 5 figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very impressive.
That's great. Well, thank you.
See, I didn't know that your son was involved. I don't think I would have made this move because now it's not funny at all. Now it just
For
seems
anyone, no.
incredibly
Sad.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now I need to know about what movies and what comedy is starting to gather in the mind of the young Cromer growing up there in the Mizzou.
What was I into? What movies were
I can remember going to
watched?
see Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid 8 times in the theater.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in that world.
Yep.
I kept going back.
Yep. Well, I can still remember watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail at least 60 or 70 times. Like I got it on VHS and watched it in the basement over and over and over. The airplane movies I loved. On television, I was obsessed with the Carol Burnett Show.
Yep.
Faulty Towers.
Wow.
Do you remember that one?
Well, I have very few episodes, but of course.
Yeah, John Cleese.
Yeah.
What else was I the Jeffersons, of course, Different Strokes, Family Ties, all these things. But I would have to say, honestly, I think my favorite movies were the 2 that I named, The Holy Grail and Airplane, when I was young.
What about in the theater?
E.T.
Sure.
You know? But I was always more into comedy than anything else. I used to love going to see the James Bond movies in the theater as well.
Yeah. Those were like the tentpole movies of our youth.
Yeah. And of course, the Star Wars movies, you know.
Do you remember going to the first one at the theater?
I do. I remember going to see Back to the Future. I was blown away by that when I was a kid.
How old were you when you saw the Star Wars movie? I mean, you must have been a kid. I
was a kid. Yeah. I mean, I was born in 1971. So, you know, when did they start coming out? I don't even remember. In the mid 70s, right?
77 or 79?
77 is what I was going to guess.
77 or 79. He's looking it up.
Okay. Young Ryan, is that who you're talking about?
I'm talking
looking it up. Good.
About the Ryan Connor, yeah. Got 2 first names, technically.
You know, but flash forward now, I still love watching all Seinfeld. I'll watch Seinfeld every night, 2 episodes, still, even though I've seen all of them 100 times. Movies, I love John Hughes movies, Breakfast Club. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. One of my favorite of all time movies is Midnight Run.
Oh, Midnight Run.
Which is not.
Perfect film.
Yeah.
And if there were a funny person that you might have been so enamored with that you emulated them in any of your performances, like I always feel even Woody Allen would cop to lifting a mannerism that became very well known to his performances.
Yep.
Which is, he took it from Bob Hope, which is the, yes, well, you know. Do you have anyone in mind that inspired your, let's get a quick answer first from Ryan Connor.
Oh. Wait, were you talking about James Bond?
Star Wars.
The first Star Wars movie. He's going to need a little more time.
Unbelievable.
He's very busy life.
I mean.
He's actually engineering 4 different podcasts.
Sure,
right
okay.
now. He's only in the room with us.
Great.
But yeah.
I would say yes. I mean, there are performances and then there are actors that, and they may be a little more obscure than you. You know, I mean, Woody Allen and people like this are giant icons, you know, but.
Chevy Chase Fletch,
for sure, Fletch. I can't believe I forgot that one, Chevy Chase Fletch. And I got to work with him on Community, and it was kind of crazy and surreal because of that. Right. Caddyshack Fletch, you know. Bill Murray, I mean.
Forget it.
Ridiculous. You know who I really, looking back, I see things that I do that I realize I was somehow lifting.
Without meaning to.
Yeah. Jason Bateman.
Yes.
He was in a show called, I think it was called It's Your Move. Way back when.
Let's hope
it
was called that.
Yes. And I've even been compared sometimes to him, and I think subconsciously maybe I picked up mannerisms and or like a dry, sarcastic thing from him.
I wonder if that's why he hired you as an actor in the movie he directed called Bad Words.
That's a good, maybe, possibly, yes. He, as a matter of fact, when I got to meet with him, and I was hoping against hope that he would be as cool as I had thought he would be, was so great. And he even told me, he said, I was going to play this role in the movie, and then I ended up having to play the lead because he couldn't get, I guess, who he wanted, but he ended up being fantastic in that. And he directed it, and he was great. But oddly, the role that I ended up getting in his movie was the role that he was going to play as a small part in
Interesting.
the movie. Yeah.
Ryan, I feel like you've got an answer.
I got it. 77.
77. So yeah, 6 or 7 years old. I was strolling to the theater, going to see Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and what was the other one? Return of the Jedi.
Sure.
I remember the little things that they drive around on with the Ewoks, the little through the forest. What were those little? They were like wave runners for land.
That's right.
What were those things? They were great. I loved them.
It would be unfortunate for me if I knew the name of them, I feel.
It would be.
That would be a weird character flaw.
If you just spit it out right away, I'd probably leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other? Oh, you know who I really liked too was John Cleese.
Yeah.
John Cleese. I really, and anyone on the Carol Burnett show, but I really was drawn to the dry, sarcastic thing. And I think I modeled a lot of what I do, like even my personality. And my parents were very sarcastic. We were
dry.
Doing a lot of laughing growing up. Yeah, and very dry and very, you better be in on it or you're the butt of it. You know what I mean? Type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you study theater at all in
No.
college? Or?
No. At Mizzou, I took one class, Acting 1 or 101 or whatever it was called, and I just did it to get a grade, really. And I never really even thought about acting as a profession through college. I just wanted to get in and out of college, truthfully. I mean, I enjoyed it. I went out 6 nights a week. I don't know how I got out of college, but we did a thing called Spring Fling. John Hamm was actually at Mizzou as well. Mm-hmm. And our fraternity sorority, there was a fraternity sorority pairing, and they would all compete. We would all compete. And we competed with John's at Mizzou, where you'd put on a play. You'd get a topic and you'd put on some 18-minute production or something like that, you know. Mm-hmm. So that was the first thing I ever really did in front of anyone.
Well, now I have to ask, which fraternity?
Beta Theta Pi, which has gotten some bad press lately.
A little bit.
Yeah. But we were actually, our fraternity was known for grades and sports. I contributed to the sports. I did not contribute to the grades.
I see what you're saying.
I might have detracted on the grade side. But I was the social chairman, so don't worry about that. Kind of upped the party ante in the house.
Did you have a special
skill?
Initiation
there
ceremony?
There was like 7 months of pledgeship, which was just awful.
But was there a final ceremony moment where you had to pass some final?
I don't think. I think they just if you lasted, you're in. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't even that. It was a lot of the stuff where they're trying to scare you, but it wasn't. Nothing was actually being done to you. It was the illusion something was going to be done, which actually made us tighter as like a group of new freshmen. Like you go through something like that for months and months. And, you know, a lot of sleep deprivation type stuff happening and a lot of just cleaning, stripping and waxing floors and, you know, painting what we just painted the night before, the stairwell over and over again and just stupid stuff.
Yeah. Child labor, I think, was created from someone who had gone through fraternity hazing and they thought, wait a second.
Here's an idea.
I went to State University. I graduated in 9 months. My friends called it dropping out.
Sure.
I'm sure technically.
I feel like that's what
it was. It felt to me like I had graduated. Mm-hmm. But I joined a fraternity as a way to try to experience the university thing. Yeah. But also they seemed to know where all the parties were.
Of course.
Yeah. And I had a friend who was best friends with my brother, who was 2 years older, who was already a member. So this was the only in I had really into any social experience. Yeah. hanging out
Yep.
and doing whatever, meeting girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a final ceremony.
Yeah.
And while we were pledges, there was a handbook. And I was the jerk who found in the handbook where it says, at no time will any pledge be forced to pass a test
Right.
of any kind in order to join.
Okay.
So, because we'd already been told there's going to be a final ceremony, and in it there's a final test, and literally you'll be brought down one at a time into the basement. You'll be surrounded by brothers.
Yeah.
They will ask you a series of questions. If you get them wrong, you fail.
Yeah.
So I found this in the book where it said that could not happen.
Right.
So I started telling other pledges, "Hey man, we got nothing to worry about." This, and I showed them in the book. Look, this is all bullshit.
Yeah.
The night comes. Taken down one at a time. And I'm still going, ramping up. Guys, relax. It's going to be fine. Nothing to worry about. Obviously, I'm trying to convince myself of this.
Sure.
It's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
I get taken down into the basement, blindfolded.
Yeah.
You're holding a candle, surrounded by brothers.
Great.
And we'd also been told that whatever questions is going to have very specific, personalized to you.
Okay.
So my personalized question was, hey, we understand you think this ceremony is bullshit. We understand that you don't think you have to pass any sort of test. You found some loophole in the book that none of
One
this.
of your friends rat you out?
This is real.
This is crazy.
Well, they probably tried to worm their
Did they
way.
have you bugged?
Exactly. Well, I thought maybe one of the other guys had tried to better their chances of being accepted.
Yeah.
Which how would that be an attribute that the brothers would want?
No.
You rat.
A rat. You're selling your friend down the river.
So I'm blindfolded holding this candle, and they broke me. And I said, no, I think it's real. I think it's real. I just said what I thought they wanted. And they're yelling, do you think it's real? Do you?
Yeah.
You know. And then they take off the blindfold and go, yeah, it's not real.
Of course. That's what everything was. I love, though, that you were studying you were Lieutenant Weinberg before you were Lieutenant Weinberg.
Of course.
That's fantastic. That was what everything was. It was all a scare thing, and you're blindfolded, and you hear somebody being like paddled or something like that, and you're like, you're next. And then you go in, and it's like
they're hitting a couch.
They're hitting a couch, and they take the blindfold off, and it's a party that's happening or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a wine exchange with a sorority. Oh. You know what I mean? And after a while, you kind of figure out this isn't going to be scary. It's going to be a party of some kind.
Right.
It's an excuse to have a party. Yeah.
These guys are just dicks.
Yes.
They're not animals.
Yes. No.
When is the go west, young man moment?
Well, I moved to I was working for a medical company, and I was doing really well, and I was living in Kansas City.
How are you doing well?
How in
what capacity are you doing?
In what capacity? I was making really good money. I was managing about 4 states for this medical company. And
can we be more general than medical company?
Well, it was okay. Yeah, no, I guess we couldn't be any more general than that. I could have just said company. I did say medical, so
that's correct.
Yeah, it was a company that would supply lasers for different types of outpatient surgeries.
I got to beat you were a laser salesman out of you?
That's right.
Wow.
Lasers, skin resurfacing, tattoo removal, things like this. And
you had me at laser.
Oddly, you know what else? They did this company, this is weird. I don't know that it should have been happening. But we would do hysteroscopies.
Wait for it.
On women with these machines, this hysteroscopy scope. And I would be in full scrubs, bringing the machine in and calibrating it. The doctors would use this in their office as opposed to going to the hospital. And I would go in the room and operate the machine. I don't know that I had any degree of education that qualified me for that, looking back.
I think you do know.
Well, possibly. It goes back to classic box, guys. But I would go in for these procedures. And anyway, they would rent or lease these machines, and that's what I did.
They needed a technician to run it.
They needed a technician, and I was the guy also leasing them the equipment.
Are you saying you were also a witness to hysterectomies?
Oh, hysteroscopies. It was just the exploration of the uterus.
I see.
Yeah. It wasn't the removal. It was just the exploration.
I see.
So,
which you felt you had done a time or two already.
Look. Not necessarily with a camera or a scope per se.
Yeah. But always with a couple buddies watching.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. So I was doing that, and I was doing well, as we discussed. Clearly, I was doing well. Always loved going to the movies, and I went to see one night with my roommates. I went to see the movie Seven.
Yes.
And
very good. Where the term "what's in the box" came from.
Yeah. And that in particular, the end of that movie.
It's a show all about box.
This is really the theme of the show, isn't it?
What's in the classic box?
On the drive out to the middle of nowhere, as you'll remember, Kevin Spacey was
in the backseat,
being as haunting as he could be. And Brad Pitt says something like, I better not be disappointed.
Also from Mizzou, I believe.
Also from Mizzou.
Brad Pitt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good call. He was a Sigma Chi at Mizzou. He was maybe 7 years before me.
Easily.
We're on a similar career path. I mean, the trajectory is about the same.
Also, thanks for reusing the word seven.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, he said, I better not be disappointed on this drive out to the middle of nowhere. And I remember thinking, I loved this movie. There's no way it can live up to what this drive out here is in this speech that Kevin Spacey. Long story short, I was shocked and mortified when I found out what was in the box. And I was so affected by this movie, and this is going to sound strange. Driving home, I remember it was raining outside. We're driving home from this movie, and I could not even hold a conversation with my buddies. Like, went back to the apartment I was in, and I couldn't sleep. I was up all night. I woke up the next day after I finally did fall asleep for a while. I woke up still thinking about it, putting myself in his position, seeing my pregnant wife's head in this box. It affected me so much. I was like, I'm getting up every morning. I'm doing a good job at what I do. I'm making good money. I want to do something where people are either, whether they're laughing or they're scared or they're happy or they're crying, affected by what I'm doing. Some of the ladies in the hysteroscopy room might argue that they were feeling those emotions when I was, or even classic box. I don't know. I can't say that she wasn't a ball of tears.
I'd like to think some of them found it funny.
Yes. Yeah. But I wanted to do that. So flash forward about 2 months. Basically, I started a conversation with my roommate at the time who was into country music. He was singing, and he was working in a similar sales job. And anyway, I ended up dropping everything and moving to L.A.
So you said to him, this roommate of yours, you're basically in show business.
Yep. Let's go to L.A. That's how it kind of broke down.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and I said, I think I want to do it. Why not? I can always come back to this.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to go sing. He was going to go to either Nashville or L.A. at some point, probably.
Right.
And we both ended up coming out here. He may even be in Nashville now. I don't know. I've lost touch with him, but yeah. So then I came out.
Let's go back, if you don't mind, for a moment.
Right. Which part?
To your work as a technician.
Great.
How many of those do you witness or make adjustments to the dials before you start to critique some of the doctors in their procedure?
It was right off the bat I started critiquing. That's not a polyp, doc.
Yeah.
That's just soft tissue.
That's right.
I can tell that. That's a calcium deposit. I got in a couple of arguments, got booted from a couple of rooms, but I got to tell you, I had to put in my what am I in there for?
Right.
Stand on the sidelines?
Can be a witness?
No. If you want me to turn this thing up.
You're there to help.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why they're paying me.
That's right. So you're out, you've moved west. It's so easy once you get to Los Angeles, A, to meet people, and B, to become an actor.
Yeah.
You just show up and have to basically plant a flag.
Yeah. And then you turn around and you're a superstar.
Maybe if only then you started wearing T-shirts that said I'm late to an audition.
Yes. If I could even get an audition.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
You can't. And no one will take you. Nobody will see you. No agent will. They'll say, all they say is, what have you done? And you'll say, I haven't done anything because I don't have an agent. That's why I'm here.
I've helped a few doctors.
With
my knowledge.
Yep.
If you got any dials that need to be reset.
I could do that.
Yeah. So you had no theater background.
None.
You had no. Yeah, you just had the will.
Zero training, the will to do it. And
so you get out here, you got to get a job.
I had multiple different jobs. Working at a restaurant. I was selling ad space on high school sports calendars. I'd drive out to Redlands and try to sell to high schools. Like I think I was making like $70 a week or something ridiculous. It's hard to get a restaurant job out here, like, because everyone is doing that. So I was doing all these ridiculous other jobs. I even took a job with Meta Copiers in Pasadena. I went and interviewed because I knew they gave a draw for 2 months. Like the first 2 months, you get a $2,000 draw. Basically, once you start selling, you know, if your commission that month is $3,200, then you just take the extra $1,200 after they give you the $2,000 at the beginning of the month. They also give you a laptop. Well, I interviewed for the job just to get the draw.
I'm surprised you're not still doing that. That sounds fantastic.
Well, I wasn't about to go out and sell a copier, but I wanted to get the job so they'd give me the draw for the first 2 months. So I figured it's $4,000 for 2 months and a laptop. And I'll disappear.
Wow.
Never went to the office in Pasadena. Got the job, got $4,000, basically mentally quit the job, and never made a sales call.
So
I think they may still think I'm employed there. I have no idea.
So no one ever came asking for the $4,000
or the laptop.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you get the $4,000. Once you get the job, you get the $4,000. It's your draw. You get it.
Can I guess that these people are no longer in business?
I would imagine. Meta Copy. I don't know. Are they?
Not with that rule book.
And God, with the VIG on that $4,000 right now, I don't know what I might owe. I hope they're not around.
Wow.
Yeah, Meta Copiers in Pasadena.
So are you asking around about acting classes? How do you?
Oh no,
how do you even?
Okay, well this was the thing. I was very proactive when I came out here. It was hard for me to leave St. Louis. Hard for me to, because I was very close with my family. At the time, I had a girlfriend that was very, very. I mean, we'd be married for 20 years at this point had I stayed. Very into her. Very close with my family and friends. It was a hard pulling out of that street in my car up Foxcliff Court, past Jenna Fischer's house.
I can't even imagine how many people said, "What are you thinking?"
A lot of people said that. Most people were very supportive, but I'm sure in their minds they were thinking, "What are you thinking?" But doing that, I remember telling myself on that drive, I'm not gonna be lazy about this. I'm gonna go for it and go hard. You know, it's like you basically are starting your own business, and you can't sit back and wait to be discovered at West Side Pavilion.
No.
So I started classes 3 days later at Playhouse West, Mark Thompson, Jeff Goldblum. That wasn't as much for training, because in my head I was always like, look, I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. You know what I mean? Let's just go up.
I noticed
we're playing pretend.
I did notice that was still your attitude.
It is still my attitude.
When you got to set.
Look, now, granted, I'm not doing the same things that Meryl Streep is doing in movies, but it's pretend, guys. Literally, you're acting like you're 7 and you're playing in the backyard. So I don't think we need to train a whole lot, in my mind.
I love how your brain looks for a qualifier drawing a line in the sand, and it cuts to arguably the greatest actress that's ever lived.
Yeah, she's the only one doing stuff that needs training. Everyone else, garbage.
Right.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I look, especially I think if you're doing comedy, it's timing and it's instinct, and it's not,
Yes.
I don't know what you're learning a lot about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Between Chevy Chase and Jason Bateman, you got all the moves.
That's right.
Yeah.
John Cleese, don't forget him.
We're done.
Frank Drebin from Naked Gun. So anyway, I started classes to meet people, network. Like you said, you don't meet people easily out here. And I did. I met Mark. I met another friend of mine that now is a writer. He's doing really well, and I'm still friends with him. And,
is Goldblum teaching any of the classes at that point?
Goldblum was teaching I was there Monday and Friday, 3 hours a day, and he was teaching one of the classes. Bob Carnegie was teaching the other. After class every day, I would go up and work at a restaurant in Malibu, and Marmalade Cafe.
Oh, been there many times.
Have you?
A favorite.
Yeah.
To this day.
It's a good spot because it was also very laid back. I could make good money, but I didn't have to be, I didn't want to go work at one of those lobster joints where you had to be all tucked in. We were T-shirt and jeans, you know what I mean?
I knew you drew the line at tucked in. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever tucked in.
At a job interview. Do I have to tuck? Yes. See ya.
I'm out.
Yep.
Give me my draw. Let me get the job and then I'm out.
That was the problem with that copier place. They wanted you to tuck.
Come on. Yeah. I'm not tucking. And so I started classes, and then I went from there. I started emailing. There was an email. I started stuffing envelopes with headshots. You know, even finding someone to take headshots. Where do you go? I don't know what to do with this. anyway, I'd
Do you showcase in the class as a way for agents or casting agents
but
to
in
see
that
you?
class, it was these, we went 2 years of, I was there for 2 years, and it started, it was a process, because you were learning to act. And
bored out of your mind doing
quote
it.
unquote. And you're doing what were called doors and activities, these acting exercises. You weren't putting on any sort of a play.
You hated
You
all
needed
that.
to be in the advanced. And I'm like, look,
You
can we
hate-
flash forward to the advanced?
You hated all that.
Hated the exercises.
Be a tree.
Yeah, be a tree. And then, so it was all just meeting friends in that and getting in the right circles. And then I was every week, I remember the 55-cent stamps on an envelope with a headshot and a little note, hey, can I just meet with you, to casting directors, agents,
Any
managers.
nibbles at all?
One nibble, Tammy Bellick at Disney. Called my home phone. I had a pager and a home phone at
Sure.
the time, 97.
No difference between you and a pimp
Nope.
at that year?
Nope, big pimpin'. And she called me, said, I'm not casting anything, but I'd love to meet you, And I said, great. I went to Disney, met her. She said, I don't have anything right now, but if you'd like, I have some material in the waiting area. You can just do a cold read for me. I was like, great. So I did that. I left. I sent her a thank you, About a month or two later, she calls my home phone, says, Greg, I'm casting a pilot. Terry Polo is in it, and Jeff Garland, and a few people. Looking back, I remember
Polo,
this now.
former co-star of ours in 213.
Good call.
Mark Thompson
Good call.
epic.
Good call. Who is the other? Oh, Jolie Fischer. You remember Jolie Fischer was in it?
Absolutely.
Anyway, I went in and she said, look, this is a small part. It was like 3 or 4 lines in this pilot, but you'd be here at the Disney ABC lot for a week doing it.
Got a drive on?
Well, look, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Had a drive on because I got the part. So I read for it, got the part. Manager saw me at the taping, had a meeting with me after that. Next thing you know, I'm meeting with an agent, and it kind of snowballed from there and went from there. Yeah.
You've sent her a thank you, obviously.
Sent her a thank you. I've seen her even since, and I still tell her she's the 1 in 300 that gave me a shot at something.
Right.
You
need a helping hand along the way.
Yeah.
From somebody.
Most definitely.
Somewhere, somehow.
Yes.
First of all, you've done extraordinarily well on all the questions. I just have a couple more. Yeah, this is
Why do
now,
I feel like these are the harder ones?
this is the pop quiz.
Okay.
Between 5 and 15 points possible for each of the 3 following questions.
Oh, I like. What's the high score?
Once the final score is tabulated, it will be posted on our website.
Great.
Along with the current standing among the top 100.
Oh, standings.
Yeah.
I love this.
Are you ready?
I'll come in. Can I just come in every day and do a new?
You can resubmit at some point.
Okay.
But I think at least 6 weeks have to go by.
Got it.
Question number 1. Dave Koechner or Rob Riggle?
Wriggle.
Okay. Only because you took that amount of time am I going to...
You can't dock me.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. You get a bonus point
Oh,
for taking that amount
perfect.
of time.
Yeah, because I
A
wasn't
lot
just...
of people come in here loosey-goosey and they
No,
think,
sir,
fuck difference does it make? I'm just going to give you a name.
No, I'm trying to earn my... I do get a draw on the way out the door, right?
You do.
Trying to earn it. Okay.
It's $2, not $2,000.
I see. Well,
but still
a little
it's a
less
draw.
than I had hoped, but
Yeah.
yep, still a draw.
Meanwhile, you did also have the correct answer.
I did.
So you got the correct answer and the bonus.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
There's a bonus available in every one of these.
Okay. By the way, I think Koechner is a Mizzou boy,
Yes, he is.
and Rob Riggle is a Kansas City boy.
It's correct.
All right.
So not easy for you.
No, tough.
To
It
go with
was a
Riggs.
struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Okay.
Carl Weathers or the weather in Charleston?
Carl Weathers.
Also correct.
Yes.
Wow. Have you heard these questions before?
Yeah, well.
Okay. Last question.
Okay.
Keith?
Yes.
Correct.
Nice.
Yes. Wow. That is impressive. And you've never listened to the show before. I know
No.
that for a fact.
No.
So that really is impressive.
Does that shoot me to the top of the rankings?
Well, you're in the top 10.
How did
Of the top.
But I got 3 of 3. How am I the top 10?
As I said, there were bonuses available with every question.
And I only got 1 bonus.
Just the one.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like I said, you can resubmit.
Okay.
And also, these are tabulated and retabulated on a weekly basis.
Okay.
So it's constantly changing.
Okay.
Yeah. Again.
Even when I'm not here, they're being retabulated.
Yes.
That's an odd process.
Well,
Feels like an odd.
it's not flawless.
Okay.
It's organic.
Or it's mainly flawless.
Or
I mean, it's mainly flawed, is what I would have to say.
that's right.
Yeah.
If not mainly made up.
Right.
Again, this will all be posted on our website.
Great.
Greg Cromer, can't thank you enough. Does it feel like an hour and a half?
It doesn't. It feels like
Good.
it went much quicker.
Because it's only been about an hour 14.
Great.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Great.
The last thing you'll have to do on the show in order to be released
I'm not dropping my pants.
and
Okay.
collect your draw
Great.
is to participate in something called the Larry King game. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Excellent. I think you're going to do well.
Okay.
So the Larry King game is quite simple. A favorite pastime of mine was watching Larry on the CNN when he would go to the phones.
Okay.
And sometimes before going to the phones, he would look down the barrel of the camera. I know you're familiar with that term.
Sure.
Like he was about to go to the phones and he would remember something he needed to share with his audience.
Okay.
And he would stop from his motion to go to the phone. He would turn, look down the barrel, share something that I promise you no one needed to know. Mm-hmm. And then he would go to the phones.
Okay.
So I need 3 things.
Yes.
In order to play the Larry King game, I'm looking for you to reenact this moment.
I see.
So I want to start with a bad Larry King impression. Don't even try to do a good one. Not interested. So it also takes all the pressure off of having to do Larry King because I just want a bad one.
Yeah.
Then give me that moment that Larry remembers something and chooses to share it. Now, this could be an opinion. This could be a memory. This could be anything that, not about you. This is Larry sharing something that no one needs to know.
No one needs to know or cares to know.
Or cares to know.
Okay.
And then go to the phone. And if the name of the city that you go to is funny, it's not going to hurt the point process.
Okay. So to be clear,
Yes.
I am about to go to,
As Larry King.
as Larry King, I'm about to go to the phones.
But you stop.
But I stop and I share something ridiculous.
No one cares about.
Nobody cares about.
That's right. And then go to the phones.
And then I go to the phones.
When you're ready, the clock is ticking.
I see. Oh, wow, this is interesting. Okay. Keith? Let's go to the phones. You know, I had an egg and cheese bagel this morning, I just remembered. Down at the New York Bagel Deli on Beverly Drive. Okay, Sharon in Topeka, what's your question?
What is your question? That's how you play the Larry King game. Ladies and Jews, he's already in the top 10
Bonus
of the Pollock Pop Quiz.
Included.
Yep, he got one of the 3 bonuses. We'll see how he fares this week. And that is our show, and I thank you.
Hey, will I see you this next week at the Better Things thing?
You'll see me there, and hopefully the family is able to come to Labor Day.
Yep, I'll see you there as well.
And Toon has high hopes. He's the lifeguard.
He's the pool person.
Yeah, I don't know if...
no, I love that.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good.
Because of all that hair, kids...
He's very buoyant.
Every kid is safe.
Sure, just grab on a clump.
Yeah, it floats
That
everywhere.
is repulsive. How's your filter at the end of that?
You know,
Great.
it's a saltwater pool, so everyone floats.
Oh, good,
yeah,
good.
yeah. Thank you so much, Greg Cromer.
Thank you, Kevin, for having me, and thank you so much for the hat.
We didn't even talk about Better Things, but yes, Greg is
get there on the next
all
one.
over the new season, which debuts on FX on September 14th.
Yeah.
Created and starring the Pamela Adlon, and very excited. I joined for a couple of episodes, but Greg is in, my brother's Craig, is in at least half of the episodes, maybe more. We haven't done the final tabulation.
Right, we're still doing the math.
Because according to Pamela, she mixed things up and cuts however she feels like it.
Yes.
So, and I was curious about that process, and I can't wait to see the shows.
No, I can't either.
Great to see you, pal.
Thanks for having me in. Thanks for I really had a good time.
Real pleasure.
And thank you for my hat.
Yeah, I'm excited about the hat. We're going to take a picture of the hat and post that as well.
Good.
Maybe Greg will put the hat on for the cast photo.
Great.
That's your show for today. I want to thank the wonderful Ryan Connor again for engineering things and offering a very small amount of information when we needed it.
And hardly ever the right information.
No, you're very much Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
Also thanking Corey Levin on post-production and all the folks here at Earwolf for allowing us to sit at this wonderfully marked up table yet again. Until next time, and as always, get out of my face.